my channel, and we have a very special video. As you can see, I have everybody that matters to me. Everybody want to kind of introduce yourself real quick?
My name's Derek from 7 Nutrition. I've been vegan for about 10 years now.
My name's Needham Delgado from Needham Delgado Nutrition. and vegan for a little over 4 years.
Brian Turner, as you guys know, yeah, just under 4 years.
Yeah, I've just been over 4 years, I think.
Okay, and John Venus.
Yeah, John Venus.
All the links will be under this. But anyways, it's not very often that we are all together, Norway, Canada, San Diego, LA kind of thing. So we thought we would sit down and have 4 vegan athletes kind of explain to you our review of vegan eating and our athletic performances and being able to build muscle and all that kind of stuff. So I guess kind of like the first thing I would say is, have you guys seen any differences in maybe like the first year or first couple years of you being vegan in your athletic performance to now in like the last year or the last couple of years of being vegan in your athletic performance?
Well, sure. I wasn't doing like any sort of weight training or anything like that before, so it's a bit hard for me to compare because I can't say like, oh, I don't know, all of a sudden I started gaining all this muscle when I went vegan or whatever. Right. But one thing I really noticed was joint pain. That really like plagued me when I was younger. Before I went vegan, I just like, my hands would always be sore, my ankles get really sore. Thought that I'd just have to live with that. And once I started transitioning to a vegan plant-based diet, that was one of the things I noticed first was like I didn't have much joint pain. I could like play guitar for longer, I could, you know, just run for longer without getting ankle pain, that sort of stuff. So yeah, that was one of them for me, the most profound I noticed.
Mine was a bit of like a little smaller transition because I was already vegetarian, but I think the biggest thing that I noticed, because I was already like weightlifting at that time and I was already getting like really into it, and I started to see some results, and then I dove a little bit deeper into nutrition and made some ethical connections there to give up dairy. But at that time I was like really focused on dairy products, because as a vegetarian athlete I was like, okay, I need to drink my whey protein, I got to get my cottage cheese before for the casein, before going to bed. And what was the other one? Greek yogurt was another big one for me. Like starting my day with dairy, you know, having dairy in the breakfast, you know, with a shake, and then mid-morning snack with dairy again, and then at night with dairy. So I had like constant digestive problems. I was really gassy, very like irregular bowel movements, and like it just wasn't pretty. And I thought it was just, that's the way it was if you wanted to be like a bodybuilder and whatever, you know. And after I eliminated dairy from my diet and started incorporating more just like different types of plant proteins, I noticed that the digestive issues like basically went away within a week, and that was a huge win for me. And then obviously after that, I was training and putting on muscle was like coming faster. My recovery time was a lot quicker. My inflammation was going down too. So yeah, it was a huge competitive advantage for me to cut out dairy and just go fully plant-based.
And so would you say the benefits that you saw from taking the dairy out, it's still there? You're still seeing those benefits? You haven't like started getting kind of like the mucus mouth or any of the things that you were feeling from dairy before?
No. It was like it's trending upwards still. Like the way I feel, my athletic progress, you know, I'm like, it's going on 4 years now, and like I feel like I'm getting younger and like still as agile and as strong and athletic as I used to be. And yeah, putting on muscle's easy. I don't know. If there's nothing really, I can't complain. I can't complain, you know. There's nothing really to report other than life is good.
Like I feel like this video repeats a lot of what we've already said, but it needs to be said, right?
Yeah, no, for me it's kind of similar to all of you guys combined, but I'd say like the most profound difference is definitely to do with digestion. So growing up, like ever since I can remember, I always struggled with constipation, which is like a huge problem, but no one talks about it. Like I've never heard any friends or anyone in real life talk about constipation, but apparently there's a huge number of people struggling with this, and I was definitely one of them. And I ate a lot of meat, probably not more than you guys, or like apart from Nehemiah, but still meat didn't sit well with me. It digested super slowly, and you know, sometimes I wouldn't go to the bathroom more than once every 5 days, sometimes even like, you know, once every week or something like that. At its worst, like not constantly, like for years and years, obviously, but I would go through phases where, you know, I just like super, you know, constipated, which was horrible. So that was the first thing that I noticed straight away, was that kind of like fixed itself within probably a week or something like that. It was super fast because, you know, my digestion was just like it came in and out straight away, which was fun. You know, it felt so glorious to finally take a shit normal, like a normal person. So yeah, that's the main thing. And with that good digestion, I noticed huge improvements in the gym, especially in strength. So I believe the two are connected somehow, because yeah, not much else changed. Like my training was always like constantly the same. My calories, protein amounts, I was like trying to, you know, hit the same numbers more or less. So yeah, with the fixed digestion, I felt like, you know, I was able to recover faster, more energy in the gym. Strength went up like crazy.
Maybe your recovery got better just because you got the shit out of your body.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like the strength was the most noticeable thing straight away. Like bench press, shoulder press, deadlifts, all that like went up straight away, which is cool.
As everybody's going to ask in the comment section, so we might as well address it right now. Bodybuilding, 1.5 grams of protein per pound you weigh, or whatever the ratio is, you know, all that kind of protein talk. So let's just say, how much do each of us get in protein a day, or what's our window target?
I think it's usually around like 1.4 to 1.5 grams per kilogram
So
of body weight.
how much do you get
What's
in
your
grams
target?
of protein?
Grams wise?
Yeah.
I usually get around between like 80 and 100 grams of protein in a day.
Okay,
That's in
yeah.
around 23 to 2,500 calories.
And you're like 150 pounds.
Yeah, it's generous. But yeah, a couple pounds.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Yeah, mine daily 150 is my target. If I get above it, cool. If I get somewhat close to it, cool. That's just like every day. If I am training for a show, I'll keep it at 150, but the closer I get to my show, I will bump it up a little bit. But that's strictly because, you know, I'm putting in tons of training, I'm doing tons of cardio, and I'm trying to preserve muscle mass, so I will increase my protein number. But I never get to, I probably get to 170, maybe 180, and I weigh normally about 180 pounds. So 150 is my target when I weigh 180.
Same thing that you said with when you're contest prepping or dieting really hard, I'll up the protein as I go. But generally, like 130 to 150 is kind of my window. I'm 200 pounds right now, kind of fluctuate between like 185 and 215. Generally,
And that's it's important to recognize, like that's an extreme case where you're like prepping for a bodybuilding show.
Good man.
And you are, you know, really, really training hard, and you're doing tons of cardio, you're putting your body under a ton of stress, you know, so it is important to get a little bit more than that, but it's not necessarily, you don't need that much, you know what I mean? You'll be fine with 150 or less if you're our size. So.
Yeah.
I'd say I get around 100 to 150 grams of protein per day if I'm not like, you know, really trying to like be on a caloric deficit, or like, you know, try to hit a fitness goal that I haven't hit before. Like, you know, if I'm trying to gain muscle as quickly as possible, I'll probably bump it up a little bit. But I'd say naturally I hover around 100 to 150 grams. And I'm a little bit less active than these guys, so like I'm not like moving my body all day. I'm probably the most sedentary out of us all. I'm sure about that. And the one who eats the most ice cream too, so.
You're chasing around Noah all day though, man. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, it's changing a little bit now, so I'm getting more and more active. But yeah, in general, like, I just don't feel the need to increase my protein beyond a certain level. Like, I've tried like very low protein amounts, like maybe 70 grams of protein a day, and I didn't really notice that much of a difference. But maybe that's because I didn't stay on it for long term. If I did, maybe, you know, I would notice a difference. But, you know, I don't think it's something that I stress about too much. And I don't think you guys do either. Like, it's just naturally, like, you know what foods to choose that contain protein, and as long as you're eating them, you're gonna get enough.
Yeah, it's not like, realistically, when you're coming from the outside of veganism going in, you're like, it's going to be this thing that's always on my mind, I'm stressing about.
Yeah.
After you do it for a couple of weeks, you're like, oh, hey, Dad, that's not that big of a deal. I never think about protein.
No, if anything, it's just calories for me that I think about, and then
Right.
protein will come as long as I'm choosing some higher protein sources.
I think this is perfect segue to the next question, which people always ask, especially if they're not ever familiar with vegetarian or vegan diets and stuff, is there going to be a lot of finding one amino acid profile and then having to match that with another amino acid profile of two different foods to make the proper complete protein? I get that one all the time. What's your answers for that?
Yeah, I mean,
The nutritionist.
it's I mean, our body recycles amino acids, and it's actually hasn't been like known for all that long. So it's actually like I think maybe from the 70s or something like that they started to really research this and realize how much are recycled. So they say it's like a 48-hour or so window that our body is like recycling amino acids. So you're going to be eating a variety of foods in that 48 hours,
Right.
And you know, generally plant foods are maybe are lower in one or two of the amino acids, but you're going to get it in another food that you eat. Yeah, so I think
I also heard something about like your body pooling it to, like, it has like a reserve of amino acids just like for the purpose of pairing, and like it's always there. So
that's sort of the recycling of everything, yeah.
Right.
And I think what's interesting to point out too is that all plant foods have all 9 essential amino acids in them. I think a lot of people think because they hear such and such isn't a complete protein, they think that there's an amino acid that is completely missing. But even if you go on Chronometer and you type in like celery or broccoli and you do, 500 calories of that and you look at the protein, you're going to see every single essential amino acid represented in there. And it might not be high on each one, but they're all there. So as long as you're eating a variety of foods, you're getting enough calories. You don't have to worry about it.
I was going to say, I never once tracked my amino acids. Once. Never had problem building muscle. Never once tracked or worried about it.
Okay, so the next one that people will ask, and you can actually find like quite a few people saying like, I'm vegan, here's my blood test results. There's a lot of videos that come out like that now. I feel like that's a pretty good like clickbait for a lot of people. But yeah, so blood tests, like how do they show up after you have been vegan for a while? Because in the beginning it might be good, but then it might get worse over time. I'm vegan for 4 years. I did a blood test in the beginning. I did a blood test just recently because I did a soy challenge video. That's actually, it's funny, after I did 30 days of like eating heavy soy, my testosterone went up. Not to say that that's what you should do, but it's just to show that like soy doesn't like drop your test or anything like that. Yeah, I've had no issues with my test. My test is like 715 or 20 or something like that, and the range is 200 to I think 800. So yeah, my test obviously hasn't dropped over 4 years. And then I also got like the complete blood panel, so just to see all my ranges of everything in my liver and kidneys and blood and all that stuff. And it was literally everything's in the ranges or at the very low end of the range of, yeah, it's no problem for me.
Yeah, same here. I do it every single year.
That's good.
So I have probably like 3 videos on my YouTube channel, like going through every single thing. And yeah, never had an issue at all. Like, I'm just trying to think if there has ever been a nutrient that I've been, low on, but I can't think of it. So I guess like people a lot of times wonder about things like vitamin D, vitamin A, B12, those things, and yeah, never an issue.
Nice.
Yeah, same. I don't remember the last time I got a blood test, but I do remember that 2 things were like not deficient, but like on the lower end of the spectrum, and that was D3, and that's a simple fix. I think a lot of people are kind of like not deficient in D3, but maybe out of the optimal range, and that was a super quick fix. The doctors told me supplement with 2,000 IUs of D3, and that was it. That was it. It's not necessarily a dietary thing. It's more of a getting outside and getting in the sun thing. So. Yeah.
Dude, you live in California. You have no
I know. You need it, but I'm inside a lot.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah, I'm inside a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, but since then I made it a point to get outside more. Just like,
I'm living in Norway and I'm more tan than these
this
California
is like,
boys.
Dude, you are dark right now.
I know,
man.
dude. That's what I told. This is the remnants of a spray tan. I'm normally really white. I'm really white.
So I'm like you. It's been a little while since I had a blood test. I should probably get one soon. But I got a handful of them done when I first started veganism every couple years, and everything was always just within range. And the doctor's always like, "Man, fit as a fiddle. Nothing to worry about. Come back in another year and a half or so." So yeah, I don't worry too much about it, but I should be getting another one soon. I think it'd be a good thing to make a video about. We'll see.
It's also cool to mention that, blood tests show a lot of, amazing things, but it doesn't show everything, right?
That's true.
It's really cool. Like, a good way to think about it is how you feel as well. Like, it's important to not only, analyze everything, but making sure that you're feeling energized and, just optimally healthy.
Yeah, and if you start feeling like something is wrong and you feel like you're lethargic or you feel like something's an issue, then go get a blood test.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That'll really like help you decide what it is that you're deficient in or is wrong. The next question that's going to come or has come quite a bit is, what is your supplements like? I'll start off first. One of the things that I've never taken before that I now do take is beetroot juice powder.
Some strong stuff.
Oh my gosh, it's good, man. It's gross tasting sometimes. Yeah, for me, beetroot, it's kind of like a citrulline malate or AKG. It's great for the pump. You take it about an hour to 2 hours before your workout. Solid. And if you're, not lazy, you can also actually take beets and eat them or juice them. I'm lazy, so I take the powder out.
Yeah, for me, I've only been taking protein and creatine since I started lifting 8 years ago. So yeah, nothing else has changed. Like, the only thing I'm adding is a B12, and once in a while I'll take algae oil, omega-3. But not very consistently.
That's one I thought would be cool because like before, a lot of bodybuilding people and fitness people will take an omega-3, which is sourced from fish.
Yeah.
And so then when you're going to be a vegan bodybuilder now, you're like, well, can I still take omega-3s? And what you just said is important.
Do you remember, like, on old school YouTube fitness, it was like all about the huge multivitamin pills, and like there were so many supplements people were taking. I did the same. Yeah, exactly, because like
the stacks, or you open it and you get a whole bunch of pills, all these different pills.
Yeah. But it made you feel like a bodybuilder.
Yeah, exactly. But apart from those, protein and creatine, sports-wise, like, yeah. I mean, like, I do take it, instead of whey protein, I'll take a vegan protein from Viva Life, as we all do.
Shout out Viva Life. You can use my link and code in the description.
Brian 10.
Yeah, those are my big three: D3, B12, and the omega-3s DHA, EPA, which is derived from algae oil. Apart from that, I mean, you can get mostly everything from your foods. You don't even have to supplement with DHA or EPA if you just get a lot of the right sources of essential fatty acids. I do a lot of chia, a lot of ground flax, some Brussels sprouts, avocado. Just like, as long as you make sure you incorporate that at some point in your day, you don't really have much to worry about. So I do protein, I do creatine, monohydrate, and
a lot of stuff we're taking because we feel like it. Like, you don't need creatine. It's not like you need that as a vegan or nothing like that, but it's just something you've gotten used to. Yeah, I take it too, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't take too many supplements before I went vegan, and now I do. Oh, man. But I did used to consume, like, protein powder, like a whey-based protein powder, before I went vegan when I was, like, just running or whatever. Like, you just hear more protein's always better, right? So, of course, it's going to be better to have, like, more. So, and it would tear up my stomach, like, and bloat me out, like, till it was just exploded out there, and it would hurt so badly. So that didn't last very long, and I thought, whatever gains I'm missing out on from this, I'm okay with. But the gains weren't really my concern at that time. It was just, like, getting adequate protein, which everyone always talks about. But now, yeah, I mean, just plant-based protein, the one from Viva Life, digests, like, so well. I never have any problems with that. Also consume creatine myself. Not the most consistent at taking it, but I try. Consume B12 for sure. But you're not asking for our whole stack. I do D3 in the winter. I live in Canada. We don't get much sun in the winter. And I also started to incorporate an algae oil in as well, just to see if I feel any different. But yeah, 3 months on, I haven't noticed any difference. But it's not always about feeling different.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too about the blood test to remember is that like supplements are meant to like fill gaps in your nutritional diet. So you might not even need that if you're already getting everything you need. So you can take things for insurance, but you might just, be buying expensive urine. like Dr. Khan says, you're just pissing away money. So
do you think that if you are someone on the other side of the screen who doesn't have muscle yet, you're just about to start lifting, but you also want to do it vegan, that kid has just reaffirming it for him, do you think that he can gain muscle as a vegan?
Of course, yeah, 100%.
I just say this because there's a lot of content out there right now, especially because it's all ex-vegan, carnivore, vegan, blah, 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 blah. And so a lot of people will say like, oh yeah, they're lying to you, you can't gain muscle and stuff. So this is just to like reconfirm for you. I'm telling you, with my whole reputation and stuff, you will be able to gain muscle as a skinny vegan kid who wants to get muscle and stuff. It's going to still be a lot of work, but you can do it.
Yeah, for us it's a little bit different because we ate meat before we started, while we were bodybuilding as well. Yes. But these two are, all their gains, really pretty much came from plant-based diet. So
yeah, I'd say in the last 4 years, I gained like pretty significant, like 20 pounds maybe, and that's like 20 pounds, like, because I remember when I first went vegan, I did a show and I don't remember my exact stage weight, but I was like low 150s, like maybe 150 pounds. And then one of the last shows I did, it was like closer to 180 on stage. So that's like dry weight, that's like dry. So to say that you can't build muscle on a vegan diet is just a complete fallacy. Like, of course you can. Number one thing you should worry about is getting enough calories. If you have enough calories, you can build muscle with that. You might not have to worry about protein at all, especially if you're starting off. Just worry about getting more calories in and working out hard and being consistent and getting sleep. Like, those are like more important for you to really optimize. We talk about how you have to have the right mindset in the gym, you have to exercise and all that stuff, but think about it, like, you spend such little time in the gym, and doing 1 or 2 more reps may give you like maybe 1% of a difference. But if you really optimize your nutrition and then optimize your sleep, that can give you like 10% more gains. You know what I mean? So just remember that there's other areas where you can really maximize what you're doing to get better results.
Just consistency is like the main thing. Yeah. Like the other day I was actually even at the dump, and some guy was like, he was looking at me and he was like, I was just getting rid of some stuff.
Such a random
and I know, it's such a random story.
All right, okay.
And no, but he kind of looked at me and he said, he's like, oh, it looks like you have some muscles. Like, do you have any recommendations for me, for building muscle? And I was like, well, how often do you go to the gym? And he said like a couple times a month. And I said, dude, Like, you got to be going multiple
There's
times a
number
week
one.
and just stay consistent with it. That's what you have to do. I'm not going to tell you, like, the best, exercise for building your bicep or your shoulders or whatever when you're not going to the gym often. So, yeah, definitely, like, being consistent.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at this couch. We're barely, like, fitting in here because all the damn meat is here. So, if you guys want to check out any of these dudes' accounts and social media and stuff, it'll all be in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. Let me know what you thought in the comments below and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Team Beyond the Week. CT.
Lift heavy or die myron, motherfucker.
Team Beyond the Week.
CT. Lift heavy or die myron.